With Jammu and Kashmir, where signs of normalcy are emerging. The Jammu and Kashmir government held a media briefing today where several announcements were made regarding lifting the curbs in the valley. The government announced that schools will be open from Monday in a phased manner. Area by area movement of public transport will also be allowed. Government offices registered a high attendance after being made fully functional from today. Telecom connectivity will also be restored in several areas. The government is assured that over the weekend there will be more normalcy. However, preventive detentions will continue. The government also appreciated the cooperation from the people of Jammu and Kashmir to maintain peace. The government once again assured that its focus was to return to normalcy as soon as possible.
And carrying out such attacks are...
Earlier in the day, a lawyer for the central government had told the Supreme Court of India that the restriction in Jammu and Kashmir will be lifted gradually. The apex court was hearing a petition on the revocation of the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. Remember, the valley has been under restrictions with communication lines snapped off since the 5th of August. In addition to this, flight services from Srinagar resumed yesterday, where the first flight took off with over 150 passengers. And now we have our correspondent Ishan Wani joining us live from Jammu and Kashmir. Ishan, thank you so much for taking time out. Help us understand, because just a few days ago it was difficult to even contact you, and now finally we're able to have you live here on the show.
Well, absolutely right. It's a big relief for the people in the Jammu and Kashmir. Although the government had established certain phone connections at specific locations, but the opening of landline, the message by the BVR Subrahmanyam, who's the Chief Secretary of Jammu and Kashmir, will certainly go a long way in helping people to go with their day-to-day life, because people have been off the contact. They have not been able to communicate to their families living outside the state. They have been running from pillar to post. But now, since the government has announced that they will open up the phone lines, will be a big relief. We haven't been able to, personally, I haven't been able to contact to my office. You know how difficult that has been in Kashmir Valley, particularly from the perspective of phone lines. But today, the BVR Subrahmanyam's message has been taken well by the people living in the Kashmir Valley. We spoke to at least 5-6 people, parents and other people. There's also an announcement that from Monday, schools will be reopened, because people are worried that this is a crucial time for this students, kids and wards to study. And because of the shutdowns that have happened in the past, they were thinking that it will be a long process and might take months altogether. But remember, it has just been, decision has been taken on 5th, and today, in these days, the government has been able to handle the situation carefully. As the BVR Subrahmanyam mentioned in his press conference, that no loss of life has taken place, and the lessons have been learned from 2016 or be it before that. We haven't seen any big, huge protests in the Kashmir Valley as was expected by the government. A government official told us a few days back that they were expecting that there will be some sort of clashes between the forces, or they were prepared for those things. But at the same time, situation overall has remained peaceful. But connectivity is still an issue. Mobile phones will be restored gradually as the situation improves. There will be a phased manner, restrictions will be lifted in phased manner, because the government has to have an upper hand on the situation, particularly in the districts which are volatile, and in the Srinagar city as well, the old city, where we generally see there are clashes between the forces and the youth mainly. So to avoid that confrontation, the forces will be there, and in the phased manner, shops will resume. The offices have already been told to come to, people have been told to come to office. Since it's Saturday, tomorrow it's a weekend.
Right.
From Monday, we may see normal work resuming. But one has to see that what will be the situation on the Monday, given the fact that everything will be open on Monday. The government will lift the restrictions partially and will observe the overall situation very carefully.
Right, Ishan, I wanted to ask you, the fact that they've announced that the schools will be open from Monday means that they have that much more confidence about mobility on the streets, even for children, because mobility on the streets so far has been a problem, right?
Well, absolutely right. The parents we spoke to were, sort of in a dilemma that whether to send their students on Monday or not, whether to send their kids on Monday or not, because, there are forces around the city and there could be clashes on Monday. So Monday will be a sort of an experiment for the administration. They will see how the situation unfolds. Some parents were happy that their kids will go to school. There hasn't been much mobility on the roads. Only the private transport has been plying. No public transport is there. And that is what makes the situation difficult for the people to commute. And there have been barricades erected on the roads, but one has to see what happens on Monday, because if there are clashes in certain areas, those areas will be completely sealed. Now this is a part of a domination by the security forces in the valley. They observe a particular belt, a stretch, but it will be difficult for the parents, to actually, send their students, send their kids to the schools, because schools have been, there was an attack on the school bus 2 or 3 years back when stones were pelted on a school bus during a class. So they don't want to get caught into that circle. So to avoid that, we will see, interestingly, on Monday that which schools open, what will be the attendance in the schools. But already, apart from the school, employees who want to go to their work haven't been able to reach there because of the restrictions, because of the less transportation available to them. But on Monday, one has to wait and watch that what will be the transportations on the road. Will the shops open up which have been closed, and which areas will not have restrictions anymore? But we are expecting in the uptown areas where schools are located in the uptown, they will open, they will resume their work, and there will be definitely a circular issue to all the employees who have been at their homes to come out to their work. Although essential services were not hit, already the government had issued passes to them and asked them to resume their work, which includes hospital and other rationing departments as well. But Monday will be keenly observed that promises made by the government will have to be watched carefully, that what sort of security arrangements will they make for everybody to come out of their houses. But overall, it has been a peaceful situation, and people were not actually expecting that in this short period of time the government will have an upper hand on the situation. But yes, there have been few minor clashes, but the government says they have been able to contain everything at the local level. And we also saw yesterday how the Independence Day was celebrated, and now one has to wait and watch definitely for Monday that what happens and what unfolds on Monday.
What happens